And thank you, Phoenix, and thank all of you. My God, this is insane. I found out that this was sold out, and I just was so amazed and touched, and thank you all for being here. So I wrote a little something, and then I'm going to sing a little something. So I've written about 20 versions of this speech, but every day of the past month has brought a new dimension to this book and my feelings about what I should talk about tonight. And I kind of feel like I'm in a dream right now because you're all parts of my life in some way, but never occur in the same context. But here I am giving a speech to you, but none of us are naked. But truly, everyone in this room has uniquely contributed to the development of this project and my ability to bring it into the world. And I don't know if any of you have read the book yet, but I dedicated this book to Burlington, and tonight is dedicated to all of you. I came to Burlington with the goal of making this graphic novel as only a ghost of my artistic self. But I had the freedom of being a stranger, and it allowed me to introduce myself without any caveats as a cartoonist for the first time in my adult life. I was so far from that identity that it felt like a lie for a while, but a cartoonist is how all of you knew me, and with that knowledge I started to believe that too. Over the past 5 years, I've become more of a cartoonist, more of a Burlingtonian, and less of a stranger. I revealed my illness to you. I allowed myself to express an emotional range that I previously repressed out of fear that I would be hospitalized, and I was shocked to learn that it was okay. Because all of you hold that image of who I am as an artist, as a human, as a member of this community, I've been able to maintain a continuity of self, a feeling of security in my identity that had eluded me ever since my diagnosis. In New York, every change of season held the frightening potential that I would lose my mind, and I did usually. Since I was 19, I had a major episode of depression or mania every year. In my time here, I have not experienced a major episode, and I really feel that that's because of where I am and who is in my life right now, all of you. Thank you for continuing to see me, even in the times I've struggled. Thank you for being a community of artists and friends to artists that can conceive of and embrace the beautiful range of expression within each unique human spirit. Thank you to the natural world that has so often been my sanctuary here. And thank you, Burlington, for being a city that understands that community is a salve for our collective and individual struggles. I think we have all had the experience of a dark day that was uplifted by a simple "how are you" from a familiar face, and felt inspired to do the same, even though you don't know each other's name. That is special. That is Burlington. Please never change. Thank you. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm going to play a song that I actually wrote in the hospital, and my dear, dear friends that have come all the way from New York have heard this in the hospital, I believe. Okay, I'm a little rusty. Okay. I felt like it was important to play this because in the book I am more of a musician than an artist at that point, and I remember when I wrote this, it was really this incredible feeling of closure for me in the same way that this book feels like it is for me now. and I just felt like it was important to share it. Does that sound in tune enough? Okay, well. Who wants to do this for me?
It's pretty close.
There you go.
There we go.
That's
Okay,
good.
there we go.
Better.
All right, still got it. Okay.
question and answer portion of our evening.
How are you?
I feel really good. I was so. If any of you have encountered me in the past 9 months, literally between submitting this and this coming out, it's been so. I just needed this to work out for myself, and it's really been incredible. And I've had a lot of exciting things happen that have just been so unexpected and just beyond what I had ever imagined would come of this. And yeah, I feel really good finally.
Just a statement, Rachel. I miss you at the market.
I miss the market so much, but my coworkers are tired of me coming in on my bad days and being like, I'm coming back.
Any other questions? Yes.
How did you find your way to Burlington?
It was just a complete random idea of my dad's, and my uncle, who is right there. Sorry, Skip. He lives here, and I had very fond memories of coming here as a child. So when I couldn't afford to move to Seattle, so this is my second choice.
Is there a question? I thought I saw some hand. Yes.
Hi, I'm only here because I heard you on Vermont Edition the other night, and it's very beautiful. So I'm wondering if what the dominant culture labels folks with in mental illnesses and such, just your perspective, do you ever wonder, could that just be an expression of soul?
I mean, of course, but I've just kind of had to move forward with the way things are, you know, and you know, it has worked for me to get to this place right now where I feel stable and happy, and maybe in the future I can explore that more. But for me, this is working.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
How much did marijuana help or hurt your situation? Please be completely honest.
No, I appreciate that you asked that, because I have a very fraught relationship with marijuana, and it sometimes makes me feel really good, and sometimes it makes me feel really terrible. But I have found that when I am feeling terrible more than I'm feeling good, then it's not good. That's pretty wise.
Do you have any kind of like faith that has helped you, like a higher power or hope or that God loves you or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. I think honestly, when I came here and things just started to come together for me, that I like never had expected would ever happen in my life, and everything was magical. I just couldn't, I was just so overwhelmed. And I started doing this very deliberate gratitude practice where I would go to the lake and just acknowledge what was happening for me, and you know, what I was grateful for, and that I would return that generosity. And I think that reciprocal engagement is my concept of a higher power.
The times in your book when you're in the hospital are very vivid. Was it cathartic, or was it difficult to put those on paper?
Do you have any in particular?
Pretty much as you're denying that anything's wrong, from the mania episode, as you're just really fighting, accepting your current situation.
Well, this part wasn't in the hospital, but the hardest part for me to draw was prior to the bar scene going into the hospitalization. And especially the part where my dad tackles me. And when I was drawing that, I was ill, like physically ill. And I had to get up from my desk like every 5 minutes. And interestingly, like among my pencil drawings, because I did just process note, like I did a pencil drawing, and then I put it on a light table, and then I inked it onto Bristol. And my pencil drawings from that time are all cut up and pasted together, because rather than just drawn consistently on one sheet, because like clearly I wasn't able to just be in that in a consistent way, and that it was just interesting how it was materially reflected. But yeah, that was the hardest.
I guess then just relating a bit to the last question, I know you did the comics, Rachel Lives Here Now, and then with this, I was wondering if you really spent a lot of time on a work that you were separate from? Like, and obviously you can't be fully separate from it, but that was not directly about your experiences.
Well, I did do this comic called The Wizard of Life. That's about a Trustafarian UVM student who gets cut off by his parents and prays to Jah, and out of his bong comes a wizard who guides him on quests in exchange for unlimited marijuana. But I mean, it's a pointless exercise now that it's legalized. But yeah, that was really fun, and I really hope that I can do more fiction because I'm not really into doing another one of these.
So you're good next?
I heard you on Vermont Edition as well, and what I'm so happy about is that you are not hiding from this. You're facing the truth, and you're not letting the quote-unquote stigma of mental illness prevent you from being who you want to be. And I think that can do so much good to everybody else who maybe has their own struggles.
Thank
Amen
you.
to that.
I mean, I really hope so, but I also just want to say that it took me years and years and years to get to this place, and it was not something that I was able to do alone, and that it was truly incremental in ways that required, and I mean, I was trying to get across before when I was speaking. You know, it has a lot to do with just being in a context of other people and being able to be yourself, and having trust in your community and the people around you in order to do that is difficult to find. And I think I hope that, you know, that people realize that more and are able to be open and welcoming.
Well, we have 130 people right here. So, yes.
Congratulations. You did it. Okay, this is a two-part question. One, I'm really, like, there's so much work that went into this, and I'm wondering, like, how much time did you put into it? Like, every day, what was your practice? I don't know exactly how to phrase this question. Like, how did you get into it? And now that it's done, like, what are you doing? That sounded blunt and bad.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Like, if you had, like,
I've seen you around getting stoned, Rachel.
I think you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean, Tara. No, when I was working on the book, it was so absorbing, and I'm just the kind of person that, like, cannot rest until, like, whatever I'm trying to figure out is concluded. And, like, there's so much different kinds of work that goes into making a comic. Like, there's writing, there's drawing, there's laying it out, like, all of these different ways of conceiving the construction of the narrative take a really long time, and some, like, are a little more comfortable for me than others. But I would say, you know, I spent the first 6 months that I had the book deal just, like, writing, and I spent a lot of time with about 75 pages of draft that I had going into this project and trying to, like, figure out how to make it work, and it turned out that none of it did. So just, like, really, that there was that work. Then there was the personal work that was part of this, which was really intense, and I definitely was, like, it really was really very hard, and there were points that I just had to, like, force myself to take a break, and I would take, like, 2 weeks off. And that was, like, what I had to do. I couldn't take, like, a day off. I had to take 2 weeks off, enough time to, like, cleanse myself of the thinking, and get back into it. But now that it's over, I've just been spending this time trying to figure out, like, who I am and what my relationship to my work is now that this project is over, because it has been so totally the guide of my life for 7 years. And it's really been such a relief, like the past month, to have people respond to this in ways that feel like, okay, I have a future, because I just really didn't know like what I was gonna do, and I'm glad that things are materializing, and I just want to share something that's so exciting to me. And this was in the 7 Days article that Rachel did, which was really wonderful. If you haven't read it, you should check it out. But I was at this conference recently that was mostly people in the medical world, and it's graphic medicine is a subsect of comics that is about medical things. And I did a presentation, and what has come of that is that Mount Sinai Hospital in New York has asked me to come speak, and they're ordering books for their residents. Harvard Medical School has invited me to come speak and is ordering books for their residents. The Massachusetts School of Pharmacology is ordering books for the residents. And it's just, who would ever have thought? You know, I mean, like, this was like a personal exercise. Like, I just wanted to prove to myself that I could do this at a certain point, and now this is happening. And that has meant so much to me, and I'm so excited about what that could mean. And I've also just been receiving these messages from people, from women, about their similar challenges or things that feel they connect with regards to my story, and how the anger that they felt, and the anger that they felt they could not express, and just feeling like I have always been had that inside me and not known how to deal with it and how to be appropriate. And just to hear that other people were like, yes, thank you for making that part of this work, and I feel that, and that's just been so great, because I know that was such a burden on me, not knowing how to deal with that. Anyway, side note.
I've got a really practical question for you. When you were in your most extreme places, what was it that you really wanted or needed from the people in your life? What worked, and what did you wish they had done for you?
Well, I mean, I think that the book kind of gets at this at a certain point. But I just wanted people to listen to me, really. Like, really listen. Not just observe what I was projecting, but actually hear what I was saying. And to see and hear my needs as something that were real and not insane. Because there is truth, you know, you understand. That's how I feel about it, yeah.
Let's go here.
It's just kind of an inquiry and affirmation. You know that song you played? I think if you wanted to get a band together, you could do it in about 48 hours.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That was really good.
Thanks, Charlie. Are you trying to get a band together?
I'd be happy to come along.
Okay, we'll talk at the plant.
Our filmmaker has a question.
Harry.
What your next project would be, whether there would be an RX2, or would there be the movie or the Broadway show?
I would like there to be a movie because I want to get a house and some land. But in terms of actual comics work, I think I just kind of want to be, you know, like a lot of this, like I said, this book was just kind of about proving something to myself, and I just want to be like a normal person now and just like enjoy my life without having this eating away at me. So I don't know, maybe I'll do another big one and maybe not.
See one there?
Hi. I also heard your talk on the radio, and I just want to thank you for sharing your story. So as somebody who has PTSD, I really identify with that anger that you were mentioning. And I just really thank you for that. But I also have a question of, how did you find the courage to share your story?
People ask me that all the time, and I don't know. I really don't. It just had to happen. I think that it was a reaction to being committed. And when I was committed, I felt something I had never felt before, and it is unnameable. And the reaction to that was this. And I think that profound feeling demanded that I retaliate or whatever. That sounds a little harsh, but you know what I mean.
Well, thank you very much for coming, and we're going to have Rachel upstairs. We can talk to her when
If you had a choice on the film adaptation, being live action or animated.
Oh, animated, absolutely. Yeah.